Hello everyone, my name is Alexander Zelenin. I am software engineer, senior software engineer, and today we have... please continue.
Hello, my name is Alex Haletsky and I'm newbie.
Today we will solve the second problem from sorting, the easy one. A plan for today is next. We will start with overviewing the problem itself. Let me zoom in a bit. Then we will design an algorithm. We will calculate complexity of this algorithm. After that, we will try to improve it if it's possible. Then we will write code itself. We will test this code, and if everything fine, we're happy. So let's start. I will explain by myself. If you want to read the same time or set on pause if you see the video. So we have an array of prices. We have some items in shop, and every item have a price. We have array that represent the prices of items. We have some amount of money. In this example, we have $7, for example. And we need to buy maximum count of items. In this case, we will able to buy like 1, 2, and 3. So it will be total price of 6. So maximum items we can buy with 7 will be 3 items. So mostly that's it. We cannot buy one item more than one time. So like every item is unique in this shop. Our constraint is next. We have up to 100,000 items. We have up to 1 billion price for each item. And we also have up to 1 billion of money. So, okay. We will need to return the count of items that we can buy, the maximum count of items. So is the task itself clear?
Yeah.
So, okay.
Let's solve it.
Let's start with designing, and you will do this time. I will try to help you. So we have example. There is price of items like 1, 12, 5, 111, 200, 1000, and 10. We have total of 50. How you will solve this task? For example, you came to shop and you have $50 and you want to buy maximum items as possible. How you will do this?
Well, I check every item here.
Yeah.
And compare with my total money.
Okay.
It's, for example, 100. Oh, how strange it painting.
That's
okay,
fine.
for
Yeah.
example, 112, 200, and 1000. Definitely not too much for $50. So it's removed in a start. I just compare each item for a start.
Okay.
Then I just put in my basket every tile and every item.
Okay.
And как-то
we'll
суммирую.
Summarize.
Нет.
Summarize.
Summarize each tile and then compare it with 15. So I put 1 in my basket, then 12. Summarize it. It's gonna be 13. Compare it. It's okay. It's less than 15. Then I put 5. 18. Compare less than 15. And then put in my basket 10.
Okay.
Compare less than 15. It's the end of our code.
Okay. What if we will have not 50 but $13 initially? How it will work?
I put 1, then I put 12, then I put 5, and when I put 5, it's gonna be error or maybe false. False, it's gonna be false. So I didn't put 5, just 1 and 12. But I think you asked me to make different situation, because here is for 13, it's gonna be 1 and 12, then 1 and 5.
Yeah, there is no
Then
big difference, but for example, if you will have additional number here, 6, additional item with price of 6. So in this
So what?
case, you will buy 1 and 12 and don't go further. But like proper answer, since you want to buy the maximum count of like cheapest toy, you should like buy 1, 5 and 6. So you buy 3 items total instead of 2.
The ask of question of our task is how many items I can buy.
Yes, exactly.
So it's gonna be a little complicated. Well, I check this first, then I put in a memory how many items I buy. Why it's painting so square?
Yeah, I presume it's just delayed. This, the cursor movements is delayed when with remote control.
I'm sorry, I'm gonna take the cat for a better understanding of tasks. So I check the first numbers, then I'm gonna my program or my code gonna check other numbers. It's complicated for me, you know.
It's now so complicated. Let's think a bit. Originally, you want to go from left to right and get every item and take a look that you are still under the budget, right? Like in which situation your approach will work? That's the question.
In which situation? When
Yes. Like
when numbers that used in my in this code are compared to the final solution, for example, for
I mean,
13.
so what if instead of array above we will have like this one?
Can you separate it by comma?
Yes. No, I click by mistake, so since it's paint, I cannot edit it.
Nice.
You will need to work like this.
So I have 1, 5, 6, 10, 12, 112, 111, 200, and 1000.
Yes.
What is the question?
If we will have this order of numbers, will your algorithm work properly? that you propose initially?
I think yes.
So we took
Why not?
1, we took 5, we took
5 and
6,
took
we
6.
have 3 items.
Yes.
For the next one, we doesn't have a budget already.
Yes.
We don't need go to further. So how we can go from the state above to state on the bottom? Try to remember our previous video.
Yes, maybe we should compare each summarized numbers with our final numbers with 13. For example, we have
No,
one.
wait. Before you compare anything with anything, we have array like this, okay? We want to make from this array, because with the second one, for us, easy to work with that. How we can...
I understand. We can compare 12. We should sort our array from lowest to highest.
Yes.
Yeah. So we should have 1, 5, 10. What? 1,
Yeah.
5, 10, then 11,
12.
100, 12, sorry, 12, 111, 200. I'm sorry for painting.
That's fine.
I don't know why it's a
As for me, it looks better than
page.
mine.
Mhm.
So, okay. So we have 2 steps.
Mhm.
We maybe still have this step with removing elements, but let's leave it for now. It's some kind of optimization. So first step is sorting.
Sorting, yeah.
The second step is going from left to right and summarize items until you will be not until you do not break the available balance. Okay. So what will be the complexity of this algorithm? Can you try to presume?
I think ON.
Do you remember what is complexity of sorting?
ON square, sorry. Because we... No?
Continuing, please.
Continue what?
Or in square, and you try to explain.
Because we have every number to compare with each other. So it's ON square.
This will be O(n) square only if we are going for bubble sort. But since we knew only how to bubble sort, it will be like this. But for for modern sorting algorithms, complexity will be n log n.
Oh.
I had mentioned it previously. So we will have n log n. In this case, we will not implement our sort. I will show you the trick how to sort items very fast and efficient. Yep.
Okay, let's sort hard.
So we have n log n here. What about like next part of algorithms? Then we go like through from left to right and try to count how many items we can buy.
Yes.
What will be complexity for this part?
This gonna be ON.
Yes. Why?
This is just no. For me it's like a one step. You know, it's hard to explain for me. It's just a simple compare for me.
So, but why we do it n times?
because we have a lowest in first place, and it's obvious that this summarize the lowest items gonna be the most items that we have for our
Okay.
money.
So the reason for n is that we are going, like in worst case, if we'll have all items of price 1, for example, we'll have like 1, 1, 1, 1. So we will go one more time through our array, like through every item. And that's why it's O(n). So, and what is total complexity?
O n log n plus n.
Yes, that's a proper one, but we can drop the lowest part.
And got n log n, yeah.
Right. So this one doesn't matter when we have multiplication of n to something. So we just drop constants, we drop the lowest part, and we end up with n log n. You're a quick learner.
I just hope that our viewers it's okay with our bad English. Can you please leave the comments about our conversation?
Okay, so we define the complexity. Now it's time to write some code. Let's go here, and first what I need to check is to check that what we like receiving here. We're receiving prices, and we're receiving the second number, which is like our budget. Let's rename it to budget. Can you do this, please?
Thank you for budget. Yay.
Nice. So what we will count in our function? What we need to return?
Do I need to replace k?
No, doesn't.
Everywhere?
We work only here, only in this function. So what we need to return in the end?
How many items I can buy for my budget?
Okay, then let's create a variable where you will store this.
Const?
No, it will be let, since you will modify this variable.
Oh. Can you
Tab. You
tab?
can click tab once, yes, to.
What difference between let and const?
Let can be modified later on, and const cannot be modified later on. So, for example, if you write const budget equal 50, your budget will be all the time 50. You will not able to spend this money. Call it not the budget, but count items count, for example. You miss the space.
Yeah, sorry.
And initially it will be 0, since we didn't buy any item. And like we can from right now just return the items count, and only then write some logic to add items itself.
Can you say why you write this comma with drop?
Yes. This symbol mean end of operation. So if we have a couple of operation, we can separate them by this symbol. So for example, in the bottom we have 3 operation, but you can write down them like in one line. Better not to do this, since it's hard to read. But generally this help to determine the end of string. But this will also work. This will also work. This is not a small. Yep.
Yeah,
This
Charterino, hello on our stream. We're glad to see you.
Yay. Uh, Generally, it's possible not to write this symbol, and it will still works. But there is so it's not so small topic, and it will talk like maybe 10 minutes to explain in which situation and why it's important and so on. So
Okay,
better to use it. Yes.
Let's continue.
Can you return the value? Return this variable.
What kind of variable?
So you create variable items count, and we will
Count,
need
yeah.
to return it from our function.
Why we need to return it?
That's the purpose of our function, to count and return it. Like, that's the purpose of function.
So how I should return it? I can
Yes.
type return.
Yes. And
items count.
yes. And set like this. Okay. So we define that it's 0, and we return 0. So right now, we will need to count items itself. So we can start with sorting an array, since you remember that our first step is to sort the array itself. To sort array,
What function make to sort?
it will be super easy. So first
I
of
think
all,
it's called sort.
yeah, you're right. So what we need to sort? We need to sort prices, right? So write prices dot, and after dot you can write the name of the function. It will be sort.
Wow.
And to use this function you need to do like this, because this will be just pointing to the function, and this will be executing of the function. It's like I will give you instructions, or you need to execute these instructions. That's the difference. So we had sort the array. Another interesting thing that it's possible to provide your own function to compare numbers, or compare something, to make like another type of sort, if you need to do this. So our first step is done. All what we need to do is the second step, when we going through like our array.
Summarize it and
Yes.
compare with our budget.
Yes. So will be easier if we will make just a cycle with 4.
I'm sorry, I'm just a little pause. I'm just showing that Kitty is sleeping on my knees. And we come back to programming.
You are that successful because of this kitty.
Thank you.
So make a cycle like 4 from do you remember how to write cycles?
I'll be honest, no.
Okay, so cycle have 3 parts, 1, 2, 3. They are separated by the same symbol. First part is initialization of the cycle itself. Second part is condition when we need to do second iteration, another iteration. And third part is what we do after iteration. So we will create a variable 0, since this number will represent a position in our array. So in prices, this means like we will work with first item initially. while I is less than prices length, return the how many elements this array have. For example, in this case we have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 elements total. So while I will be less than 7, so maximum value is 6 when this condition is true. We will increase I by 1 each time. So it will be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay? So we can write our logic here.
This logic means that we go step by step from each items in the array.
Yes. For easy understanding, we can write here a first variable that will define the price of the current item. So you can call it like current price. Write the word price from the uppercase, and also use const for this one, since the current price will be not changing. No, at the end. And it will be equal to element from array prices. So you took element from prices.
It's prices.
Yes. And you set
how can I what I want to ask this.
Yes.
Price I.
And we use brackets like here, like this one, and we put the number of the index of current element. So we took
why we use square brackets.
Square brackets use it for arrays and for objects. So when we want to pass the name of element, we can do it like this. Like for this type, we executing some function. We doesn't want to execute anything here. We want to get a value. To get a value, it write it like this.
Okay.
So we have current price. Then we have our budget, right? So we need to spend some money. Okay? How you can spend some money? Like you have $50. Item cost $5. What you will do?
I think $15 minus $5.
Right. So can you write it?
Well, budget right now it's not const, it's let.
Yes, you can change it.
Because
no,
it's
you don't need to define it once more time. You already have this variable. You don't need to use the keyword. You just use it. The keyword should be used only like first time when you're defining the variable itself. After this point of time, you not define the variable, you change it value. To change value, you don't need to use the keyword.
Okay, so budget equal budget minus prices.
Minus current price.
Minus current price.
Yes, since we are buying only like the first item. Okay.
And
semicolon. For lines like this, It can be written like in easy way. So if we have something with operation later on, we can drop this part and put minus here, like minus equal. So like we're removing from budget this value. So this will be the same. Which you prefer? Which one? I can leave like this for now for easy
I prefer
understanding.
minus equal.
Okay, so let's go with this one. So we're removing our budget, and then we need to check that we are like our budget is greater than 0, right?
Mm-hmm.
Can you do this?
I don't really. What I what I should write first, 0 or budget, or it doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Okay. Budget equal or
Uh,
sorry.
what you are trying to do?
I try to write this symbol
Okay.
0. Sorry. This symbol.
Okay.
But our budget equal or higher than 0.
For higher or smaller, you will need to write like this. So first you set less or greater, and then you set equal. We will need to write this in condition. To write a condition, we write if statement. So
Yes.
if our budget is greater or equal to 0, we can increase amount of items that we can buy. So
Well,
we have items count, and you just need to add one item. Your turn.
yes, this. Well, I want to say I gonna plus something,
Yes.
but I don't understand what I really should plus. Items count? No, I don't think so. Items, just item? No.
Just let's understand what we do in this part. We for example, we going through the first item, right?
Yes,
Through
we
with
use the
price
first item.
of 1, and we buy one item.
Yes.
What represent this variable? What is it?
That's the start of items count. We have 0 items
Okay.
right now.
After
In
you buy
a
one
start.
item, how many items you
1,
have? And after you buy
1,
2 items, how many you have?
2.
What's the difference between 2 and 1?
2 is greater than 1.
And
2 is greater than 1.
And what's the difference between 1 and 0?
2 is greater than 0.
No. I mean, not what is greater, but like what the difference between them, like what the number represent difference between two numbers, like between 1 and 0.
Plus 1.
Yes. So when you buy one item, you just plus one item. That's all.
So if budget, I understand. If budget bigger than equal 0, we plus items count.
Yes, do this, please. You need to increase items count, like what you had done with budget, but you need to do the same with items count.
I understand. Okay. Sorry for delay because I write it by distance. Items count plus items count.
How many items you need to add to list when you buy one item?
One.
Okay. So you need to assign something. So take a look at what you have done with budget and do the same with count.
With budget, I just budget minus equal current prices.
No.
Okay.
The thing that you had missed is equal.
Well, I thought that in budget we really can make equal something, but in items count it can't be equal for.
The equality is not to comparison, is to set the value. So we want to change the value of items count to items count plus 1. Like we want to change 0 to 1, 1 to 2, and so on.
Okay.
So generally that's all. It should already
Yeah,
work. Yes,
it's gonna work.
You can try. You can try.
Wait. So I can submit code or what?
Try to run code first.
Run code.
Yes.
Too long. Why it's too long to processing?
A lot of people want to solve something, so.
Sample test case. Wrong answer. What did we do wrong?
Let's take a look at example, and by some reason we answered 2, right?
Mm-hmm.
And expected output was 4.
Mm-hmm.
That means that by some reason we buy only 2 items.
Maybe sort didn't work.
We can take a look what goes wrong after sort. To debug your code, you can write console.log .log. This is method, so you need to call it. To call method, you write like this, and pass the variable here. So pass prices here. Yep. So now we can run our code one more time and see what we will have at debug output. So we can see that by some reason array was not sorted. Maybe we need to do something like this. I'm not sure. So like one of...
Nope. It's not working. So we
okay.
now we have problem with our function sort.
This is very simple thing. I will explain it now. Initially, sort function compare not numbers but strings, and it take a look at first number here. So like 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, and then 2, then 5. So it like order it like text, and we will need to order it like numbers. So we will need to help a bit to our function, and as I had told previously, I was thinking that we will don't need this. We will provide comparison function. I will explain what is it in a few seconds. So and just let me check that everything is fine. Yes. everything is fine. Let me just explain what we do here. So comparison function, let me create another function. Compare. Receive two variables, a and b. You remember when we do bubble sort, we compare two numbers and then swap them with each other. So this is like the same approach. So we have number a and b, and we need to like told to algorithm which one need to be first and which one need to be like the second number, which one of them is greater. Generally it should return like plus value, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so any plus value, 0 if they are equal, or minus value if a is lower than b. Okay, so we can just do simple mathematical operation, a minus b, and for example, if we have like 1 and 12, okay, so like a is 1 and b is 12, like this one. We will have something like minus 11. And that means that a is less than b. I mean, to our algorithm. So we can write it like this, just to easy understanding. After this step, we will have like 12 and 5, like 12 and 5. 12 is greater than 5 by 7. It doesn't matter by how many, but it matter is it positive number, negative number, or 0. Okay? So this number will be like swapped with each other. Sort function use not bubble sort, it use different, more efficient algorithm, but the approach itself is the same. So with the way how I had worked it before, this is like the same code that you see above, but like shorter version how to write one line function. So if we will take a look at function above, we can write it in one line like this. Okay? And we have this part. You can see it's the same. We just doesn't have a name of this function. And with this arrow, the important thing here that we have equal first and like greater symbol after this one. And after this, we define what we want to return to our function. So we drop couple of words from here, like we drop function keyword, we drop the name of the function, we drop return word, and just end up with a thing like that. Alexei, I doesn't hear you. Looks like you turn off microphone.
Oh, sorry. I just coughing, so I turn off my micro. These features, it's like from seniors or maybe in the middle class of programming.
If you want, we can do it like that. So the upper one function is clean to you. Do you understand this one? So we can create this function, and instead of writing like this, we can just pass our function. So do you remember when I told you the difference between the calling function and sending instruction? So in this case, we doesn't execute compare function. We provide this compare function to sort as an argument. So sort function will use this function later to perform sorting itself. So you can submit code now and see how it will work.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1. Ignition. Blade start.
And now wait.
Well,
So
we solved it. Yeah.
great. Let's take a look. We got highest score, like 35 points of 35 points. The only last step is that we need to do. We need to find out our complexity, time complexity and space complexity. One more time, just to be sure that what we had assumed initially is what we achieve. So we have space complexity and time complexity. Space complexity is how memory consumption change depending on the incoming variables. Time complexity is how CPU usage change depending on incoming variables. So what about space complexity?
I think it's ON.
Why?
Because we don't even need a space for this task.
So let's go line by line. We assign just a variable. So since it's one variable, it's complexity of 1. Okay? Then we modify array of prices. This like incoming variable, we doesn't create a new variables in our algorithm.
Yes.
It will be 1.
1.
Since we doesn't store anything new. Like,
yes.
And here it's also just variables. So space complexity will be O1.
O1 even.
Yep. Since
Sorry.
you doesn't store anything additional and you just
I just thought that ON is the lowest
no, the
lowest space complexity that can be.
The order is next. Just quick, like brief overview. We have O1, then we have O log n, then we have O n log n, then we have like n square. 1 second. After this, we have like O 2n in power n, and after this we have like O n factorial.
I think you miss ON.
Yes, I had miss O. Yes, here. ON.
Oh, Elwen, thank you so much for your comment.
Yes.
We try so hard for you and for me.
So I think for complexity there will be like separated lesson because it's important to understand what like all of this mean.
Yeah, Alexander, I think you should make some lesson about complexity.
Yes. So let's go for time complexity and try to see what we have here. Can you do this?
Like I think the time complexity is O log n.
Why?
Because we have
go line by line and explain what complexity of every line we have.
Okay. Items count, it's 1.
Yes. Write it down.
Sorry. Price sort, it's log n because we have n log n. Why log n?
This is like, sorry. The best sort algorithms in worst cases provide us complexity of n log n. Like if we have 1000 items, we will not able to sort them with less than 1000 operations. since we at least need to compare that every item is on his place. Like just to check that every item is on his own place, it's already will took n operations. So, but for bubble sort, it will be n square. Okay.
And please, if you don't understand what does it mean log means, check your lessons in a high school about arithmetic, mathematics, and other stuff like this.
I will explain what is log in separated video, because a lot of people can just doesn't remind what is it and why it's important and so on. So I will explain it. Let's go for next lines.
We're gonna be appreciated.
Yeah. So
let I O prices length. I think it's 1.
why? It's cycle. It repeat operation some amount of times.
I thought cycle is gonna be like here.
No.
Okay.
This is definition of the cycle itself.
Then it's gonna be ON, I think.
Yes, since you go for every element. Sorry, I tried type with you at the same time.
Let's someone write it down.
Do this, please.
Nah. O N.
Close enough.
Yeah.
Okay, what we have inside?
This one, because we just set current price to prices. Yep. This one, because we just make
modify it.
Compare.
We not
budget
compare.
Current.
We modify budget and remove current price from our budget. Okay.
This one, because we compare budget with 0. And here one, we just make an operation to summarize items count.
Yes.
So if we have here n log n, O n, and 111, I think the time complexity is going to be n log n plus O n.
Yep.
And O n cut.
Yep.
So we have time complexity n log n.
Yes. Nice. So the only one mistake that we do here is about the memory, the space complexity, since initially we presume that it will be ON. And by initial algorithm, this one, it will be possible that we will have ON, since we want to, we was thinking about removing some items from array. And for this, most probably you will create like additional array. And for creating an additional array, you will use some additional space to store only like these values. So sometimes removing items is not a like proper idea. Okay, so what we can do next here is to make a little optimization that I just want to show you. What if we already spent all of our budget? Like we spent all of our money and we have these items in our array. We can just skip them. So if our budget is greater than 0, then we add one item. If our budget is below 0, we stop our cycle and just end with our function. So we break our cycle and cycle ends. It will not go further. It doesn't change the complexity, but it will in some cases improve operation. For example, if we have just $1 and we have like 1,000 of items, and first items cost 1 and other items doesn't matter how many they cost. We already spent our budget. We will doesn't go for any other items. So it's just a small trick that I show about optimization. There is other possible small optimization, but we will not go for them. Thank you for today. I think it was interesting. And set like, subscribe, and see you tomorrow.
Thank you, Alexander, and don't forget about likes. Goodbye. Ну, по-моему, неплохо.